coming back to look at the next video on Maple Leafs Man Advantage. And there's three more trades I'm going to talk about before the 1970-71 season. That's a number of trades. So Jim Gregory, he's got himself a busy offseason trying to work out some deals, put together a new team in Toronto for the upcoming season to try and improve. So we're going to look at each of these trades, and they keep getting bigger and bigger as they go along with these trades. So here we go. So the exact date I couldn't really find, so it's unknown, but we're going to say in August of 1970, the Toronto Maple Leafs and Vancouver Canucks worked out a deal that saw left winger Andre Hintz go to Vancouver, while left winger Pat Hannigan and center Ted McCaskill would come to Toronto. So there we go, 2 for 1. But in the end, none of these players ever played another game in the NHL. Hintz had played 4 games for the Leafs back in 1967-68, but he would go to play 4 seasons in the WHA, and he made himself a mark there. He would go and play 256 games there, score 102 goals with 151 assists for 253 points. Excellent job there, almost a point a game in the WHA. He scored 30 goals twice, and in 1974-75 for the Houston Aeros, alongside Gordie Howe and his 2 sons, Mark and Marty Howe, Andre scored 39 goals and had 86 points that season. He also won the Abco Cup twice with the Aeros in 1974 and 75, and he also played for the Phoenix Roadrunners in the WHA. Hannigan had played 182 NHL games. He had scored 30 goals. That was it for Pat. McCaskill had played 4 games for the Minnesota North Stars in 1967-68 with 2 assists. And like Andre, he did go over to the WHA and he played 91 games there, scoring 13 goals with 13 assists for 26 points, playing for the Los Angeles Sharks. Interesting to note as well, I remember his son. His son was Kirk McCaskill, who went on to play baseball and played in the Major League Baseball. He played for the California Angels and the Chicago White Sox from 1985 through 96. And he had a 106 and 108 record in the MLB, had an ERA of 4.12. And he was in the postseason in 1986 with the Angels and in 93 with the White Sox when he was facing off against the Toronto Blue Jays. So there you go. And interesting to note as well, the Leafs get Hintz back from the Canucks for cash 1 month later. Neither of these trades rocked the boat at all, even getting him back. So I'll just give it the green light. No sweat off my back, if you might say. It's all good. So the next trade, I'm not certain of the date of this one either. A little bit bigger here though, but Punch Imlach in Buffalo was doing what I thought he was going to be doing here. He's taking parts of the Leafs away and bringing them to Buffalo. So what he did on around September the 1st, 1970, the Leafs sent Punch's son Brent and Floyd Smith to the Sabres for cash. I give this one a thumbs up as well. It's okay. We need space on the team. Floyd Smith was there last year, but I need space to bring in some younger players, if you will. Brent never did play another game in the NHL, and Floyd's career was obviously winding down. The previous year for the Leafs, he played in 61 games, but he only scored 4 goals with 14 assists. After this trade, Floyd, he played 83 games for Buffalo, scored 6 goals with 12 assists for 18 points. But Punch, though, he was molding Floyd into a coach, and he ended up coaching Buffalo from 1974-77. And guess what? He'll be coaching the Leafs for a season down the road when Punch came back, but that's quite a while down the road. But we'll get to that at some point, I hope. So there you go. I give that one the green light too. That's okay. Let's go. Now The biggest trade of the three here happened on September the 3rd, 1970, when the Toronto Maple Leafs, and it was the LA Kings this time, worked out a deal. The Leafs ended up sending left winger Bobby Pulford to the Kings, and the Leafs got back a couple players. They got left winger Gary Monahan and forward Brian Murphy. I would definitely say it must have been a sad day to see Pulford get traded away. He still had some time left in the tank here, but when I look at the players they got back, being younger, and Pulford, he still got it, but they need to get younger in Toronto for sure. They needed to get younger for a while. So I'm all for this. Pulford had played 14 seasons with the Leafs. He played 947 games, scored 251 goals with 312 assists for 563 points. He won the Stanley Cup 4 times in Toronto, was an All Star 5 times, and he led the league in shorthanded goals on 3 different occasions. If I'm not mistaken, at this time of the trade, he may have been first all time in shorthanded goals in the NHL. Since then, that's a lot of years since then. He slid down to 23rd all time in shorthanded goals, but he's in the Hall of Fame, and I'm going to be adding him to my Leafs legends list in the future as well. That's Bob Pulford. So the Kings got themselves a super quality um, veteran leader in this trade to help out the LA Kings. They got a good player in this. Bob, I think he was 34 at the time of the trade, but he would go on to play 132 more games, scoring 30 goals with 50 assists for 80 points. Um, like Floyd Smith in Buffalo, the Kings also were molding him into a coach as well, as Bobby stood behind the bench between 1972 to 77 for the Kings as a young coach. So there you have it. On the Leafs side of the trade, they got the former first overall selection, the very first pick ever made in the NHL draft back in 1963, and that's Gary Monahan. He was also known as Mondo. So far, Gary had not really lived up to that first overall pick, and he never would, but that's okay. He's still a good player. He hadn't played a whole lot of time though in the NHL. He'd only played 86 games so far. He only had 3 goals with 7 assists for 10 points. So things would definitely get better there for him. But he'd also played for 3 teams already in Montreal, who drafted him, the Detroit Red Wings, and the LA Kings. Gary, however, would go on to play 662 more NHL games. He'd score 113 goals with 162 assists for 275 points. So there you go. His career was about to take off here in Toronto. And Brian Murphy, he would just go on to play one more game, and that was with the Detroit Red Wings in 1974-75. But that's okay. I give this trade as well the green light, thumbs up, let's go. Sad to see Pulford go, but you did get Monahan in the lineup, and he's got a lot of time to go there. So there you have it. So if you like this video, go ahead and hit the thumbs up down there or subscribe. Got a lot of videos on here about the NHL. You can check them out whenever you like. And if you want to comment on anything, go ahead. Let's talk hockey if you want. That's great. But until next time, have yourself an excellent day.